Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be talking about selected poems of Emily Dickinson. This is the A-levels English literature course, and if your course requires some additional poems or some other information about Emily Dickinson, please make sure you take care of that. This course is just for A-levels. So these are the poems that we will be discussing in the next few videos, inshallah. This is the required outline for A levels, and you can pause the video and read what poems are required. And do try to read each poem at least thrice. Let's move on to some important and common themes you can expect from Dickinson's poetry. So, the most common one is death and immortality. In her poems, you can see how she describes death and her views on immortality and how she thinks of it and the images and everything. It's actually very beautiful. Next, we have the wonders of nature. She does ponder over nature and um, just how magnificent it is sometimes, as well as how destructive it can be. um, and linked to that is the relationship between man and nature. Now, in A levels, this is a very common theme, and you can expect your exams to ask you about man and nature, or in the case of Dickinson, death and immortality is also a very common theme. So you have to take care of these two themes very carefully. Next, we have love, passion, and anger. I think it's very rare that you will see an essay question about these three themes, but you can have, a poem to analyze, a reference to text kind of question, and these three themes can come up, and they're important to note. And this theme we have grief, hope, and change. So the first one here, grief, that's the most important one out of all three. Hope and change, you can include them in some essay questions, I guess, or you can contrast a grief poem with a hope poem. It depends on the question and what it's asking of you. Lastly, we have religion and spirituality. Now, Emily is not a very religious person as far as my research goes, but she does ponder over religion and spirituality and afterlife and all of that. So, yeah, there are poems about that, and it will be nice to keep that in mind. So, this is an important theme too. Now, I've divided all the poems that are required in this course according to each theme. There may be some poems that will recur in one theme and another, but yeah, they can share themes anyways. The first poem for death and immortality is because I could not stop for death. The next one is I cautious scanned my little life. Third one is I felt a funeral in my brain. Fourth one is I heard a fly buzz when I died. Fifth one is it was not death, for I stood up. And then there is this world is not conclusion. And lastly, it was the old road through pain. The next theme is man and nature. So the poems I thought that would relate to this theme are a bird came down the walk, a murmur in the trees to note, a narrow fellow in the grass, an awful tempest matched the air. I dreaded that first robin, so I have a bird in spring. The brain is wider than the sky. Okay, so this theme is quite recurring because it required two slides. So one of the poems is the mushroom is the elf of plants. The wind tapped like a tired man. There came a wind like a bugle. I actually don't know how to pronounce that last word. I'm sorry. Um, what mystery pervades a well? And lastly, I have never seen volcanoes. Then we have the themes of love, passion, and anger. The poems are A Still Volcano Life, I Did Not Reach Thee, I Have Never Seen Volcanoes, My Life Had Stood a Loaded Gun, An Awful Tempest Mashed the Air, Wild Nights, Wild Nights. So you can see there are, explosive kind of imagery here, volcanoes and guns, and powerful imagery like a tempest. Moving on to the themes of grief, hope, and change. The poems are: after great pain, a formal feeling comes, as imperceptibly as grief. Hope is the thing with feathers. I can wait grief. I dreaded that first robin, so I have a bird in spring. I measure every grief I meet. So then we have the poems with the themes of religion, philosophy, and spirituality. I'm nobody, who are you? One need not be a chamber to be haunted. The brain is wider than the sky. There's a certain slant of light. This world is not conclusion. It was the old road through pain. These are the poems for this theme, and I think that concludes the video. I hope you learned something from it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.